Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to An Impact on Your Health. An Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. An Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. An Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course, where we do encourage you to call in to join in today, folks. A guest on a Friday, excuse me, a little unusual for us. We usually open them up to you for questions. Today, we're going to bring you some interesting information about essential oils and how they can be used in place of OTCs. Now, you know what OTCs are all about. They're those over-the-counter drugs that you use ad nauseum for the aches and pains of everyday life. Now, there's another way of handling that. I think you'd like to share some time and learn about them. Essential oils versus OTCs. Which would you prefer? Anyway, our young lady guest today is none other than Sharon Bovalina, who will be discussing this issue with us. You want to call and ask a question or to make a comment, that number will be 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I will give that number additionally throughout the hour. Let's take a look at the schedule as it's mounting up, and it is mounting up. You can't believe the number of guests up and coming. On Monday, we'll have Shannon Gosen back with us. She came in town like a windstorm, blew in here and blew out of here after a very successful FSM conference, which we held at the Crown Plaza Hotel a couple of weeks ago. Shannon will be back on Monday to talk about the future of FSM and the up-and-coming seminars for those of you that may have missed, and I know many of you had scheduling conflicts and just couldn't make that one. Well, we'll talk about the next one up and coming with Shannon on Monday and more about FSM at that time. Next week, we do turn the page on the month of May, on the month of April, and move into the month of May, and get ready for a bumpy ride. There are many guests on my show for that month. Get a load of these. On the 4th, Monday the 4th, Todd Wiley will be our guest. He's an optometrist from the state of Washington, Pennsylvania, and he'll be driving a Beamer into the showroom here. Now, the kind of Beamer you think he's driving, he's not driving. He's driving one that involves a unique therapy that we'll be utilizing in our cataract program because he's had such great success with it. I thought you'd want to hear from him in particular. He'll be our guest on Monday the 4th. If you have cataracts at all, you'll want to pay attention. On the 6th, Wednesday, well, she'll be back. She's none other than Dr. Boom herself, Susan Smith-Jones, our guest on the 6th, first Wednesday of the month, as she always does. Then on the 11th, Tom Lowe, once with us before. He's a gentleman who travels of all the conferences that I go to. He deals with ultraviolet blood irradiation. He sells the devices. I saw him just last week at our conference in St. Petersburg. He's got some additional devices. I thought it was time to bring him back, Tom Lowe, our guest on the 11th. Now, just inked this guy yesterday after I told him he just returned back from Dubai with his wife, Patricia. I'm talking about Ed Kane and the famous PK, Patricia Kane. Ed has really put together a unique way of chelating without really chelating and using minerals. He's going to come to discuss that with us on the 13th, which is a Wednesday. Not done yet, folks. I've got to clear this throat. I'll get a glass of water. Here we go. John Tobridge, who we haven't met yet, is going to be our guest on the 18th, a Monday. And John is going to be talking about chelation therapy. Then on the 20th, Lee Cowden will be back. He really presented a unique chapter to us at the conference this last weekend, down in St. Petersburg. He'll be talking about energy therapies. He's written a book on the subject, and he'll present it to you on the 20th. And that will round out the month of May, jam-packed as it is. Now, you got to know this. There's a free clinic for cataracts going to be held here in my office on Monday, the 4th at 7 o'clock. If you're interested in what we can do for cataracts and the up-and-coming cataract clinic, which is going to be held in the week of the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, the Cataract Clinic will have its free seminar on the 4th of May at 7 o'clock. Everybody's invited to come. Just give us a call and let us know that you'd like to spend an hour or two with us talking about how the Cataract Clinic works and how well it should work on your cataracts. Many people do suffer from these. Cataract Clinic, free seminar. Give us a call at 724-942-3002, and we'll reserve a seat for you. Should also mention that in the month of May, there's a 40th anniversary going to be held. Now, this is the 40th anniversary of the Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy Group that has been meeting third Thursday of the month for 40 years. Anyway, they're going to hold their 40th anniversary back where it all started. It's going back to Butler. It's going to be at the Days Inn. It's going to be at 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. The guest speakers for that evening will be none other than Dave Fish and Faith Starr. More on that as time moves on. We'll try to get them both on the show here. And what else? Oh, finally set the date for our eye program in June. Many people have been asking. We're going to not hold one in May. That's the Cataract Clinic. We're going to start alternating. 1 month Cataract Clinic, next month complete eye protocol, back and forth, nip and tuck, one way or the other, and that's the way it is. Now, let me do this. I'm going to mention the books are here, the Top Doc book series, which we have all the books now in the office. First book came out almost a year ago. It was called the Top 20 Docs, Alternative Medicine Doctors in the Country. And we all met out there in Phoenix, Arizona for a unique conference with each of the doctors who wrote a chapter in the book, presented that chapter at that event. The book was an uproarious success. We have copies of the book here if you're interested in purchasing one. Then the conference that was just held last week also has a book. Top Docs are involved again. This time, the top docs of chelation therapy, and that's what it was all about in St. Petersburg last weekend. So if you'd like to get a copy of either, give us a call here at 724-942-3002 so that we can send one out to you. Better that you just come on in and pick one up and avoid the shipping. You know what I mean? That gets a little bit carried away. Now, just a couple of points about the Cataract Clinic coming up. I know that so many of you are afflicted with cataracts. I just finished an article yesterday that's going to appear in the Lifestyle Medicine magazine that comes out quarterly. The spring version, I think, is being put together as we speak, and it'll be out on the stands here in an up-and-coming week, I'm going to imagine. We will have plenty of free copies here in the office. You'll find them all over town in various doctors' offices as well as the health food stores of Western Pennsylvania. The article I've written is on cataracts, and so you'll want to get a copy of that if you do suffer from cataracts, because here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to sit back and do anything at all and have to confront the potential of a surgery up and coming. And I like how they phrase that surgery. They say, oh, we have a surgery where we'll remove the cataract. Folks, you don't remove the cataract. You remove the lens of the eye where the cataract is contained. Once I explain that to people, they wince a little bit and they go, oh my God, I didn't realize that's what gets done. So there's no cataract surgery per se. There's a lens replacement surgery, and that's a problem. Replacing something synthetic with something natural, rather, with synthetic just doesn't seem to work out. You want to try this another way, and I think with the new program, the Cataract Clinic program we're going to be offering here in the month of May. The dates of the Cataract Clinic in May will be 18, 19, 20, and 21. You'll want to find out more about it. I'm inviting you to attend the free seminar we're going to hold in my office on May 4th. It's going to be at 7 o'clock, about an hour and a half. I hope to have Dr. Lisa Bowen here with us. I've invited her. She hasn't accepted yet, but I think it'd be very appropriate for an eye doctor to be in the audience to answer some of your questions, because you have so many about the cataracts that I think she would be the perfect addition. And I plan on having her here. And the moment I do get her scheduled, I'll try to bring her on the show so that she can just present her entire opinion and professional recommendations about this cataract issue, up and coming with our new cataract clinic, which I believe we're going to reverse the vast majority of these things. It's going to be a fascinating ride. So pull up that seatbelt, cinch it up just a little bit. The ride's going to get a little bumpy around here. Okay, let's do this. We're going to take a short break. In the interim, connect with our guest today. Do you use OTCs, over-the-counters, for your aches and pains and various other sundry issues that come up? Would you like to do it another way? You can, through the use of essential oils. So we're going to be talking about everyday essential oils versus OTCs. Which would you prefer? Well, you didn't know you had an option. Now you do. Be right back in a moment with Sharon Bovalina. Stay right with us. All right. Get back. Gotta get. What's that? So that's the first one. Ah. As I do this 3 days a week, Jack. Yeah, I know. Every time you do it, it's not a lot of weight. Right. Do you FaceTime people or what? What? You webcam people? Yeah, it was sent out. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Archive link on the right hand.
Hey, you there?
Yeah, she hasn't called in yet, but I'll double beep you, and if she hasn't called in like in 5 minutes.
Oh, she will. She'll be calling you.
Okay, but if she doesn't, I'll call you.
Okay.
I mean, I'll call her and then let you know.
All right, she'll be calling.
It'll be a double beeper.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Cording with you today on a Friday morning version of the show, slightly different for us. We normally, on a Friday, try to do a get 'em up out of town version where we just open it up to you. We had a couple of other opportunities to do that this week. And so something special today. A topic that we have discussed many times before, a different look at it, though. The issue of essential oils, and maybe a way that you might find it to be important in your own life, in your own personal health, how they compare with the use of OTCs. Now, we're going to have a guest today, so we haven't established that contact yet. It's in the process, as we say. And her name is Sharon Bovalina, and as soon as they get that established, they'll sort of double beat me and we'll bring her right ahead. But essential oils has been a part of our program here in the office for, it's coming up on 2 years now, I think. And we've had Susie Weiss with us so many times talking about how essential oils can be used in your daily life. And you have responded too, because plenty of times you've taken me up on our offer to acquaint you with essential oils and had taken up me on my invitation to come for a free seminar in the office. You should know that there's another one scheduled if you'd like to be involved with the next one. And let's see, okay, finally found it. That's going to be on Thursday, May 14th, in my office at 7 o'clock. We held the last one there a couple of weeks ago, and now this one. So if you think you'd like to be involved with Young Living and learn more about the oils, maybe today's discussion with the OTC versus essential oils might click your fancy a little bit, then give us a call here at 724-942-3002 so we can reserve a seat for you. Last meeting that we held was very well attended. We hope that this one will be too. Once again, that phone number, 724-942-3002. Now, looks like we've established our contact with our guest today. She's always found around my office. She's been involved with things in my office for many, many years, and I've come to really respect her knowledge when it comes to the alternative realm. In particular, a really keen awareness of how you use essential oils. In fact, so keen that we thought it would be a great topic today to talk about how to use them with respect to some way that you could easily remember them. That is, how you might use OTCs anyway. OTCs are, of course, over the counter. But before we get into that, let's meet the young lady herself. Her name is Sharon Bovalina. She's with us right now. Let's say good morning and welcome aboard. Sharon, nice for you to come and let me invade your morning today.
Morning, Dr. Courtney. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to talk about the oils.
Well, you always are excited to talk about the oils. It doesn't seem that you ever are the loss for words when any time the subject comes up. And it was about time we took all that knowledge and let everybody benefit it, not just a few that happen to be within earshot of the conversation. I want to first let you describe a bit about yourself because you've taken on Young Living as a real project. You're deeply invested in the company. You're deeply invested in the work that Young Living is attempting to bring to the average person in their own health. So how about telling us a bit about yourself? How is it that you've taken this circuitous route and are so involved now with the Young Living company?
Well, I was interested in energy work several years ago, and I started learning and studying everything I could learn about how we work with the body using our energy, because everything in the universe is energy. So I've gone that route, and I've also studied naturopathic medicine. So I'm a certified naturopath. And I just love helping people and sharing ways that they can help themselves other than what's traditional out there, because we need other things in our lives that can help us out. I ventured into the essential oils because I was looking for something to help my father, and he needed to have help support his lungs, and after having some surgery, and so we found the essential oils to be very beneficial in helping support his lung function. So that's where my journey began, and I became so passionate about Young Living. I really wanted to learn as much as I could. I attended last year the Grand Convention out in Salt Lake City and was just blown away with the company. It's everything that it says it is and more. So I can't stop talking about it. It's just exciting to be able to help people to help themselves in some way in their lives. And the oils are just amazing because they are the energy, the lifeblood of the plant. And that just went so well with everything that I have studied that it's just a perfect fit for me. And I think it's a perfect fit for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the more and more they find out about essential oils and take a look at it from the energetic perspective, here you are, you really started your path into the alternative realm because of the energetic therapies. And lo and behold, there's a physical substance, a liquid. You mentioned it. You said it's the energy of the plant, and it's bottled, and it's so pure, and the company takes such great painstaking efforts to keep it pure that I think Young Living has earned the right to be looked at as the number one and leader in the industry. And so I'm very pleased to be affiliated with Young Living. Very, very well pleased to be affiliated with you. You're so knowledgeable. You've taught me a lot. And today we're going to try to take some of that educational opportunity to the airways. I think you came up with a very unique way. You said to me, well, I'd like to do maybe a discussion with how you can use the essential oils. And I said, okay, that sounds great. And then you showed me a way that I said, oh, this is perfect. So tell me about how this particular approach when describing essential oils versus OTCs, those are over-the-counter drugs. Everybody seems to take them, and maybe in too high quantity. But tell me how this particular thing shaped up. I think it's a real neat way to have people learn about the essential oils.
Well, everything has side effects. Drugs all have their side effects, and they all are synthetic. They're made some way that they cause some type of harm to the body or trigger some response to the body, so that it shows a reaction to the drug, so that they know that the drug is working. So the essential oils, what I've learned is, the side effects that they have are, a possibility that, I don't have this problem, this disease state anymore, or, I may have lost weight because I used an essential oil, or I no longer suffer from this lung problem that I had because I used an essential oil. So those are the side effects that essential oils have.
Tough to contend with those, huh?
Yeah. That's a no-brainer right there. Anything that the body can benefit from, and the body can use it as a whole food. So these are like food for the body. They're food for the soul. They help everything in every way of the body. They support it, and every system of the body can be supported by use of the essential oils. For example, lavender. It's known as the Swiss Army oil.
It is, huh?
It's one that you want to carry around with you. It's used for so many things. You can, it's good for the skin. It's good for wound healing. So it's something that you would want to have on your shelf.
Well, I think the way this is laid out is so neat because the thing I have in front of me is sort of like a way of taking the lavender oil, and because lavender has so many benefits, they've tried to team up how lavender might be able to allow you not to have to use an over-the-counter medicine. So I suggest this to our listeners. You get a pencil and paper, and you know the OTCs that you're using out there. Maybe you don't use any OTCs, in which case you already know about the essential oils. But if you don't, listen for your OTC, the one that you buy. I mean, it might be a Tylenol. It might be a Tums. It might be a Bengay. But in each and every case, your over-the-counter has an essential oil that might do the job as well, if not even better, and certainly will do it without the side effects. So listen for an OTC that you might be using, and then capture the name of the essential oil that could replace it. I think that's a good way for them to take our little discussion today, don't you?
I think so.
Okay, so
and one of the books that I use, because we have to use a third-party reference because of the rules and regulations that we have put upon us by the FDA and the government, I use a book. It's called the Essential Oils Desk Reference, and I'm using the 6th edition. This is put together by Life Science Publishing. And so if we look at lavender, for example, we'll find that, the constituents found in lavender, they extract it in such a way with the distillation process that it leaves all of the constituents of the plant in the essential oil. So that's where the benefits come from, the constituents. And from the book, there is information that says that the uses are for respiratory infection, high blood pressure, arterial sclerosis, PMS, skin condition, psoriasis, scarring, stretch marks, burns, hair loss, insomnia, and nervous tension. And this is all in the book. So, it has medical properties such as antiseptic, antifungal, analgesic, antitumoral, anticonvulsant, vasodilating and relaxant, and anti-inflammatory properties. So there's many things that you could use this for in your everyday life to help benefit yourself.
So what are some of the OTCs, over-the-counter drugs? You've just ticked off a list of problems, but there are commonly purchased and used over-the-counter medicines that lavender would be very appropriate to attempt to use in place of them. What are some of them?
Well, you could use it to replace things such as Benadryl, your allergy meds.
So there's a Zyrtec, all your antihistamines right there, huh?
Yeah. You can use it to alleviate the pain that you might feel in your head. Any of your pain meds, lavender could be a possibility that you could use.
That's a Tylenol, sort of anti-inflammatory, analgesic stuff. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Aleve is in that category too, another anti-inflammatory. I noticed that.
We all know what these products can do, the harmful benefit or the harmful side effects they have on the liver. So they're very toxic to the liver. So if you can use something that's not toxic to the liver, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why I think that this the discussion of an oil versus an OTC becomes so important. The side effects and potential harm to come on the long-term use of any of these is enormous. Something, as you might think, benign is Tylenol over the long haul. This is not benign. This really does cause people things like liver failure, leading to transplant. This can get completely out of hand. So, okay, so
even aspirin. It has its own issues, and then some of the drugs. I know you know this, Dr. Courtney. They take one constituent out of the plant. They may come from a plant. They take one constituent, and the rest of them are discarded, so they don't contain the whole
good point.
property of that plant. So our bodies do not utilize them, and they see them as a toxin.
Very good point. Yeah, they're isolating on one particular substance. It may have originally come from a plant, but it's the harmony and the synchronicity that particular substance has with everything else in the plant that makes this the least consequential, having no side effects when it's taken as a whole. But when you pull it out by itself, you can't get toxic effects, and I think it's a fair way to look at it. And when it comes to these oils now, how can you take them? Can you swallow them? Do you put them on your skin? Do you inhale them? All the above, none of the above? How do you take it? Lavender, for instance.
We're going to be talking here about Young Living. Young Livings are therapeutic grade. So if you go into, say, your drugstore or the supermarket and you're buying essential oils that are available there, they are not therapeutic grade. So we're only going to be talking here about Young Living that we can do this with. All the other ones, I would warn against them because they could be adulterated. We know that they are adulterated. If you want to test this, you can take the oil that you've bought from your grocery store or your health food store, and you can put them in the freezer. And if you see any whiteness or milkiness into them, that shows that there is something else in that oil that is, not beneficial to you. So it's not a pure essential oil. That's one of the ways to find out whether or not an oil is.
Never heard that before. If you take an essential oil and you put it in your freezer, and what, you get some white exudate or some milky-looking substance?
It comes out because the oil will stay whole. It will not. You will not have that effect.
Great point. Thank you. I know I always learn something around you. All right, let's move on. Let's take another one of the oils.
About how you can use them. Yes, you can use Young Livings. You can use them topically. They're safe to use topically.
Okay.
You can put them in a capsule and consume them that way if you don't like the taste of them and you're trying to get the benefits from that oil. You could put them, say, even in a teaspoon of of honey. So if you were administering this to a child, and they can't swallow a capsule, you could put it into a spoonful of honey. That's a Mary Poppins tune.
Yeah.
A spoonful of honey helps the medicine go down. Well, it helps the oil go down also. You can diffuse them. It's a great way to do oils by diffusing them in the room. Young Living has many types of diffusers that you can use, and it's a great way. You're breathing it in. The body will absorb all of the oil that's coming out. We have receptors in our nose, and that accept all these things. And there's even the receptors may not smell every part of the oil that's coming, and it doesn't matter what you're smelling, because there's a lot of people who say, well, I can't smell anything, so how am I going to benefit from this oil? It doesn't matter. The receptors take it in anyway, and your body will benefit from it. And so who knows, maybe it's possible in months after diffusing this that your sense of smell may return.
Great. Okay, let's move on. Pick another one of the oils. You pick one. Because I see there's so many listed out here. What's one that you're fascinated with?
Well, peppermint is a wonderful one. It's it has so many. It's a versatile oil too. It helps with mental clarity. So just breathing in the peppermint oil, just opening up the lid and smelling the bottle of peppermint, it opens up the mind so that you can think clearly. It's also, if you start to smell the oil out of the bottle and you're breathing it in, if you're hungry, it will also curb your appetite. So it's a good way to curb the appetite. It's a good digestive aid. It just has so many wonderful properties about it. It's anti-inflammatory, anti-tumoral, anti-parasitic, antibacterial. I mean, think of all the things you can do with something like that.
All right. So if you're out there,
so one of the things I like to do with the Everyday Oil Kit, there's an oil that's Panaway and peppermint. If you put the Panaway on the spot, and then you put peppermint on top of it, you enhance that the absorption that goes into the body, and it enhances what you're trying to work with. So for instance, yesterday I met with someone who was having some pain in their lower back, and we used the peppermint, and we used it in a different way because we could only access his hand. We were out in a public space, and so we were using the Vitaflex points on the hand. So I put the Panaway on his hand where the back, the spinal areas are, along the thumb, and we applied the Panaway there, and then I put the peppermint, and within 2 minutes, he was feeling it in his back and down his legs. So it was a wonderful, warming feeling, and he was so astonished that this could even be possible, that you could put something on topically on a place, say, on your hand, or even on your foot. We have all the spots on our feet, or all the organs in our bodies, our spine. If you just put the oils in those places, those organs benefit from it. The oils are self-intelligent, I like to think, and they go to the parts of the body that are needed.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you use peppermint, for those of you that are not thinking, have to have your thinking caps on, you would probably benefit from peppermint if you use any of these. I'm going to be the one that comes in with the OTC side of this, all right?
Okay.
With any of these over the counter. So if you use Pepto-Bismol, you got to thank peppermint, folks. Or Imodium, Tums, all this GI stuff. Getting the message? Rolaids, Prilosec, Zantac, they're all GI related. Even Gas-X and Beano, for those people with flatulence, this appears to be the essential oils best benefiting the GI system. So if you use any of those, you might want to consider using the peppermint oil instead. Whether you ingest it, put it on your skin, or inhale it, you're going to get the benefit from it. Move on, my young lady. Where do you want to go next? Which one will you pick?
Well, the one I'd like to talk about, too, would be Thieves. And it's a blend.
I love that name. Thieves.
Thieves is we have so many products. There's a whole line of Thieves products. I mean, there's a household cleaner.
It's a signature. It's a signature product.
And so there's so many things, so many places to go with Thieves, and it's actually even the household cleaner. I mean, if you consumed it, if a child consumed it, it's not harmful. They may have a little bit of an upset stomach from it, but it's not something that's going to harm them in any way. You can actually wash your food, and you can actually, you know, it's not going to hurt you if you consume this product as a cleaning product. So it's an amazing product. The Thieves Essential Oil itself came from the formula. Actually, came from the 1400s, where a band of men who were robbing the bodies of the plague that was going on then, the dying bodies. They wanted to steal all the golds and coins and whatever the valuables were on these dead bodies. So they had this formula where they could go in so that they did not get the plague.
They didn't get sick.
They did not get sick from it. So they were actually arrested. They were caught by, I believe, the French may have captured them.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to give up their secret formula. This is one of the things I also study in my herbology course. So I know how well it works, and I had to actually make this Thieves remedy as one of my case studies that I had to do. So anyway, but Thieves is a fascinating one because it's an antiviral. It's a mold inhibitor. It has so many properties about it, and the constituents. It's a blend of different oils. There's clove, there's lemon, there's cinnamon bark, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary in our Thieves. And there are other essential oils named Thieves, but they do not contain the original formula that was made up by this group of bandits. Mm-hmm. And Young Living has acquired this. And it's an amazing formula that actually works so well for so many issues. It's good to have around during the winter. It's good. I actually have a necklace that I wear that I infuse with the oil of Thieves, and I wear it all along all the time. And you know, when I go out in public, I don't have to. I feel like I'm protected by, you know, wearing the necklace from catching anything that somebody else may have. Mm-hmm. And I did get through this winter, you know, successfully, not getting sick.
Hey, we had a patient. We had one of my patients one time call up and tell us she had a mold in her attic, and she was going to sell her house. And her story was, in keeping with a unique way of using a Young Living product, she went because she had it priced by the people that could eradicate that mold, thousands and thousands of dollars it would take for them to come into the attic and rid them of the mold. What they decided to do was use Thieves and aromatically dispense it in certain kind of diffuser where it was coming at full strength, and it eradicated the entire mold in the attic with one application. It was about the most unique story I ever heard, so I sort of share that with you, that molds at that degree, at that level, were affected in that particular case and bailed them out. They eventually did sell their house, and they could do so because the mold was gone and the house could be certified as safe to purchase. So I think that's a pretty unique.
That is a unique and an exciting story because I mean, there are studies done with that, and Dr. Ed Close actually has a whole protocol that you can use. And I believe, you know, this person that you're talking about, I think I know who she is. She used the protocol that Ed Close has.
Oh.
And it's a phenomenal protocol. One of the things that he recommended, because I listened to him, I attended a seminar where he was at, and he talks about using the Thieves oil, and you have to use it in a diffuser that does not use water, which we have, and you're diffusing the oil straight from the bottle because you don't want to add more water to grow more mold. So when you're trying to eradicate it, that's one thing that you need to think about. You know, like you don't want to put it in a diffuser that is, you know, that contains
moisture,
water and mold. You know, will grow more mold.
All right, so thieves, I've always loved the name when I first heard it. That story about eradicating a mold that was severely going to hamper the sale of a home got rectified, and now I know that whose protocol was that?
Dr. Ed Close.
Dr. Ed Close. So now, in my attempt in keeping you apprised of what OTC drugs thieves could replace, get a load of this: Dayquil, NyQuil, Chloraseptic, Robitussin, Oragel. How about this one? Lamisil, fungal, antifungal, Lamisil and Lotrimil, Vicks, Lotrimin, Vicks VapoRub, Nicorette. These are all well-known over-the-counters for multiple things. Thieves could very well replace. Think about it. If you use any of those products, you may want to try to use thieves instead. Let's move on. Pick another one, Sharon.
Well, purification. Let's go to purification.
Okay.
Yesterday, I also had a client who had a cigarette smell in the car, and they wanted to eradicate this cigarette smell, and they've tried everything. They had people come in and attempt to get rid of the cigarette smell out of the car, and they were unable to do that. So I took my bottle. They wanted to know if I had anything, and I took my bottle that I had put like about 7 drops of purification in it, and it's probably about a 16-ounce bottle, spray bottle, and the rest of it was water. We went in and we sprayed all around inside the car, and immediately the cigarette smell left the car.
7 drops.
Yeah, and in some water, and just sprayed it around. So it's capable of just eating up those chemicals and binding them up in such a way that they are no longer harmful, or the smell is no longer there, So, and we closed up the car, we went away for a while, and we came back in, and you still could not smell the cigarette smell. So it may be something that has to be done several times, maybe when the car is running, it may need to be sprayed again so that it gets into the filtration system in the car. But as of yesterday, everything that they attempted to do did not work, but the purification did do it.
Interesting. You came up with that on your own, because I'm looking at the list of the OTCs.
I know, that's not on there.
I know, and just not even there, but it looks as though a lot of skin calamine lotion this replaces. I guess it's used as like a bug spray. It says off.
I use it on I spray it on my dogs when they go out.
Ah, so you do use it that way.
I have my spray bottle there. I also spray the doorways. If the ants start to come in this time of the year with a dampness, sometimes the ants like to try to find their way to invade inside your house. It's great just to spray it all around the doorways. It has so many uses. It purifies the air. It takes out the toxins in the air. If you want to clean your air, if you're in say you're traveling and you're going to the hotel, if you have purification with you and you want to put it in, there are travel diffusers. So if you put it in your travel diffuser, you can actually purify the air that's in your hotel room. So it has many, many uses other than what you have on your list. But it's also, my husband got stung by bees last year, and actually they were yellow jackets, and they kept attacking him. He probably had like about 13 stings on his arms.
Boy.
And we went for the purification first, and the swelling went down, the pain went down. They were quite painful, and it could have been a dangerous situation with as many bites as he had. So purification was what did it for him. I mean, it's amazing that he actually remembered and thought about it. It's like, what oil I could use.
It's neat that when something happens, you immediately think of your oils first. And you go to them first. You don't do what others do. And I think that mindset, changing the mindset, conversations like this will get people to think outside the box a bit, and it'll be to their benefit if they start looking at other ways other than using the common OTCs or just household products that have some toxicity associated with them. These do not. And so bee stings doesn't appear on my list anywhere. But
and then think about mosquitoes. I mean, that time of the year is coming upon us.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, purification is a wonderful oil to have for mosquitoes.
All right. Now there's this oil, and it just has such a biblical reference to it. Every time I see it, I go, oh yeah. tell me about this one, frankincense.
Oh, yes.
Now, talk to us about frankincense, because it's got a catchy title. It's got some biblical references that call it to mind. What is this used for in terms of the essential oils?
Well, frankincense is wonderful. It's probably, I mean, it goes back into biblical times. And I mean, the frankincense trees that we're getting our oils from are at least 500 years old. Young Living has about 3 different frankincenses, not about, but they do have 3 frankincense oils that we have. We have frankincense, we have sacred frankincense, and then we have frankincense Variana. And each of them has been studied in different ways, and they each have different benefits, although each area where they come from claims that theirs is the best, So most of the research studies have actually been done on the sacred frankincense, and your listeners can go to pubmed.gov, and they can learn all of the studies that have been done on frankincense for cellular health. There are so many benefits with frankincense for the skin. As we age, we get wrinkles. Frankincense is one of the oils that is beneficial for wrinkles. It's beneficial for the aging eye, and I know that's an interest to you.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
So just raccooning the oil, and by that I mean if you take it, a drop of oil on your finger, and where the orbital bone is below your eye and above the eyebrow area, and you raccoon this oil, it's beneficial for the aging eye.
Interesting. So I didn't realize there were 3 and the 3 different brands of frankincense happen to do with a different tree coming from a different area geographically?
A different species of the tree and the different area that it's grown in. And it all has, but they're just a little bit different in their constituents and how they help with the body. The Cleveland Clinic has done studies with sacred frankincense, and they're finding many benefits for cellular health with the essential oil frankincense, sacred frankincense.
Well, you mentioned that it was used for wrinkles, and I like that term, raccooning. I got a mental picture of what raccooning should look like. Okay, got that.
Okay.
And then, of course, the multiple medications that I see that frankincense could be used in place of are things like Scarway, skin lesions, blister shield, scar zone, Mederma, Neutrogena, oil of Olay. These are very well-known products used on the skin, and to think that frankincense could be used in its place and have as good effect, if not even better, without any possibility of toxicity, puts it as your choice. You pick them. You want to use the OTC or do you want to use the oil? I say use the oils, consider the oils, and I love that idea. Frankincense with that biblical reference just catches my...
And many people use frankincense to improve their spiritual well-being. They use it for meditation. A drop on the third eye helps with meditation. So a lot of people who can't get into that meditative space, all they have to do is put a drop of frankincense on the third eye, and that's the point in between your eyebrows. So if you apply the essential oil frankincense there, you'll get yourself into a meditative state. And meditating is very beneficial to our body's innate ability to heal itself. Because if we get ourselves into a state of relaxation, we allow the body to take over and begin to heal internally, spiritually.
All right. Now, I want you to talk about this particular oil. In my household, my guys insist that each and every month I get a generous supply of lemon, okay?
Right.
And it is the one, I always find them firing that one up on our diffuser.
How do they use it, Dr. Courtney? Do they drink it?
Well, no, it's the we got the diffuser running all the time here in my house, and I oftentimes pick some of the other oils, but every time I come back, they've changed it. and they put the lemon. They said, this is the one that it must be the aroma is so pleasant to them.
Well, it's very uplifting.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We go through a ton of this stuff a month.
Yeah, it's a great oil for uplifting the moods. It opens the mind, and it actually cleans the skin. So it's a good one to even put on your skin. It dries the skin. It tightens the skin. It's a photosensitive oil. So if you're putting it on your face, I wouldn't go out in the sun with it. I would put it on in the evening, and then you would be safe to go out in the morning with it, or in the daytime. But I would not apply it in the daytime or the morning before if you were going to expose yourself to the sun. If you were going to stay inside and not worry about that, then that's a different story. We don't see much of the sun, as much of the sun as we need here in Pittsburgh.
Well, I got to tell you, I think my guys aren't really much aware of the skin benefit to them. They just love the smell.
It's a very balancing oil. It helps to balance the whole body. It's just the whole, from an energy perspective, it balances the whole system, and it's just a wonderful oil to have.
All right, we're in the gun lab here. Pick one more oil, your choice, and tell our listeners how it could be that they might be able to use it. And I'll mention the OTC drugs it should replace.
Okay, well, I don't think this is on the sheet, but Melaleuca is one of the replacement oils in our kit. And it's a wonderful oil to use as an antifungal. So it's good for the skin also. And it's good to use as a mouthwash to support healthy teeth and gums. It has great cleansing effects. It's a good product for lice. So that could be an OTC product that you could think of. So if it's good, you can put it in your shampoo, and wash your hair with it. It supports the immune system. So Melaleuca is one of the milder oils, so you can apply it directly to the desired area and not have to worry about a dilution. With some of the other oils, that if you would use them directly out of the bottle, which we call neat, you would maybe have to dilute them with another carrier oil, such as olive oil or coconut oil.
Okay.
Young Living has a blend called B6, and it's a wonderful oil to use to calm down the oil when you're applying it. Sometimes they're a little bit on the hot side, or you may notice a redness or an irritation because the oil needs to be diluted with a carrier oil. None of our oils are diluted, so they're in the purest state. Putting them on your feet is pretty safe without having any kind of reaction. But if you put them topically on some sensitive areas of the skin, you may have to apply a carrier oil with them. But Melaleuca is one that's a mild oil, and you shouldn't have to worry about that. It could be. It's a wonderful oil to use on the bumps that you get on your feet after going into, say, a shower area that's a public area. So it would be one of those oils that could help with. It's an antifungal type of property.
All right, now, of course, the list goes on and on. There are hundreds of the essential oils. We've just picked some of the better known and multi-used oils, and it was nice to take that walk and let our listeners know that there's a way that they can use these oils and replace some of the over-the-counter drugs they may be using and avoid the toxicity of those drugs. I always enjoy bringing messages like that to my listeners. You are an extremely important little cog in the wheel around here because you're very involved with the company Young Living, and you hold meetings in my office every month. Tell us how the one went for April and the one coming up in May and what you got planned.
Okay, well, the next meeting is going to be May 14th in your office at 7 o'clock. The one we just had last week went extremely well. We had a large group of people that showed up for this meeting, and it was overwhelming, the response that we got from people. There were so many people that were calling in on the phone saying, oh, they were stuck in traffic. There was something happening in Pittsburgh, and they were coming from the Pittsburgh direction, and they couldn't get there. So they're hoping to attend this May 14th meeting. So I'm expecting that the numbers in your office on May 14th will even be greater than what there were last Thursday. We went over and were able to bring in everybody, in the room, sharing their stories, how they were using the oils to benefit their lives. And it's nice to be able to share in a group of people how we can use the oils so that, our lives can change. And we don't have to be stuck in these patterns of ill health, that we can support our system and strengthen the body and build it in such a way that it can handle all of the things that we're exposed to in our environment.
All right, so the next meeting coming up in the month of May, you say May 14th, my office?
May 14th in your office at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock in the evening.
And we have a meetup group. If people want to go to that, they can go to themeetup.com. And our meetup group's name is South Hills Young Living Essential Oils Meetup Group.
Okay, what is that? What do you do with that?
They can go on there and they'll be able to find out when the next meeting times. They can ask questions on the meetup group. They can send messages to me privately, or they can post on the group, so that everybody, if there's a question that they'd like to learn an answer to, they can post it up on the group. It's a great way to discuss the oils and find out the information when the meetup groups are going to be.
Okay. So I want to thank you so much for coming aboard today. First time
allowing me to speak.
Oh, hey, I'm going to allow you to speak more times than you even imagined. And I'm looking forward to having your group here on the 14th. My office. Give us a call at 724-942-3002 if you think you'd like to be a part of that. We already have our chopsticks played in the background. It's our time on air. Sharon, going to say goodbye. Have a wonderful weekend. To those out there, you have a great weekend, too. I'll see you on Monday with Shannon. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney with Sharon Bovalina saying so long for AM Impact on Your Health.
Bye.
Bye now.